Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Anita Horry. I am founder of Anita Horry Academy, a Pilates Teacher Training school and a business mentor for Pilates and wellness teachers to help them create the business life of their dreams with no stress and fulfilling the personal life that they want. So in today's video, I want to be discussing how Pilates student teachers can start making up their teaching hours. So I see this a lot in forums across social media, how a lot of teachers are getting frustrated because especially since COVID hit, they can't seem to be making up their hours and they're really struggling, especially if they're in a fully comprehensive program. And my comprehensive program is a 600-hour program, and there's a good few hundred hours of actual teaching in the program. And to think about having to cover all those teaching hours just by practicing with your fellow students is going to be absolutely impossible for you to achieve in the time frame that you require to have it done by. So I've come up with some tips on what you can do as a student, as a Pilates teaching student, to be able to increase and add up your teaching hours. Okay, so before I go ahead and share my tips with you, if you are liking this video, please hit the like and subscribe, and don't forget, ring that bell so that you do get notified every time I upload a video online. Now, going back to the tips of how you should be making up your teaching hours, requirements are going to vary by educational facility. So you, first of all, before you do anything else, you need to go to your educational facility and ask if it is at all possible to do any of the tips that I'm going to be suggesting to you. Every educational facility has got its own terms, has got its own rules and guidelines, and I really urge you to contact your education provider and make sure that any of these tips are going to be relevant for your certification, because at the end of the day, that's what you're looking for. You're looking to get certified and to have your name out there as a fully fledged Pilates teacher, right? So let's jump straight into the tips. First tip, which is simple, and it's the first one that I'm sure every single educational facility provides you with, is to practice with fellow students. So you'll be teaching fellow students in your program, and they will be making up their practice hours and you'll be making up your teaching hours. That's the first thing. That's the simplest and most efficient way of getting your hours added up. The second one is teaching family and friends. Now, teaching family and friends could happen at your facility if you are close to your teacher training facility, that is, or you could also be teaching your family and friends at home if you're doing the MAT program, and maybe recording your teaching hours and passing the videos onto your facility. Or if you are required to be teaching on equipment, you would then need to see if you're able to hire out a space in a Pilates studio that is local to you, that's going to be able to facilitate you practicing with your family. Now, I know that the insurance element then is going to affect your ability to teach at different studios. So all I have to say about this is that you do need to have adequate insurance cover, and I know that many countries offer insurance for student teachers, and facilities, Pilates studios also offer insurances, where there are insurances that cover Pilates studios for having students practicing in their studio as well. So you need to check out, if you are going to be using another facility, then you need to be asking the facility provider whether they have insurance for students or whether you have to provide your own insurance as a student teacher. So you have to clarify this with the insurance company and with your education facility and with the studio that you're going to be working from. Now, I can't specifically say what insurances cover because I'm putting this video out there to anybody in the world, and insurance policies vary in every country. So what I do recommend is look up insurance providers in your area and see if they manage to cover you as a Pilates teacher training student. This should be something that you would be covering with your education facility. So if you can practice with family and friends at a different location or at a different studio, then you should also be able to offer yourself as a sub. So that's the next step. That would be tip number 3, offering yourself as a sub in a local studio. Same things apply, insurances apply. Some studios feel that because you're coming from a different educational facility, different school, they might not be happy about you subbing for their students, because obviously it would be a different education. Maybe things are said differently, things are taught differently, and they might not be able to happy to do that. However, if you pitch this in the right way, your studio owner, the studio owner, should be able to accept. How should you pitch it? You can think of it in 2 ways. You can either sub a class that they're already giving and they just basically need another teacher, and you obviously sub for free. And if you're subbing for free, they're going to benefit out of it, you're going to benefit out of it, and you're going to be able to learn something new out of it, because you're gaining more experience at the end of the day. Or the other way is to offer teaching services, more classes for the studio, to add more classes, to add an occasional class, if that might be, at a heavily reduced rate where you don't get anything for it, but the clients get a reduced rate for practicing with you. And this could also be a private and a group session, whatever scenario that might be. So those are the 2 ways that you could be a sub or work at a particular studio that's going to be local to you. The 4th tip that I know has worked for many people that I've come across in the teacher training journey is actually subbing while you are on vacation. So planning a week away from your home and contacting a studio that's perhaps looking for teachers and offering to sub for that particular time. Now that's a great way, because you're going to be able to take a vacation and increase your teaching hours very quickly, because generally people need cover. They want to make sure that they have enough teachers running the studio. What I recommend, especially if you're new in the industry, what I recommend is that you go and sub where there are other teachers also teaching. So you're going to be an extra teacher, an other teacher, because it might be very overwhelming for you as a new teacher to be covering a full studio, dealing with client inquiries and dealing with any other issues that might happen in the studio where you really are still in your learning journey, in your Pilates learning journey. But this is another great tip for you to be able to increase those hours, and quite quickly, because then you're going to be able to do quite a few hours in a specific period of time. The 5th tip is to contact your local communities, contact churches, local activity communities, and offer to run free classes for the community on a regular basis. So you could run private sessions or group sessions and offer your services to that particular community. And you can do it for a period of time. You can say, for my first 6 months, I'm not going to be charging you. I'm here to increase my teaching practice. And obviously you need to be transparent about it. I want to be of service to our community, and I'm going to give it for free. I know many communities that actually take advantage of this. And if you don't want to be giving your services for free, but perhaps you do it at a very reduced rate, that's going to be an absolute no-brainer for people to take up your sessions. And the last tip, which is tip number 6, is going to be contacting local businesses and offering your Pilates services for their staff. Again, offering a free service or a very heavily reduced service to create postural awareness for their staff and increasing the well-being of their staff. It's well known that a lot of people take time out from their work because they are suffering from back pain, and back pain seems to be the one thing that people take sick days off for. And if you pitch it in this way to the local business, then you're definitely on a winner, because in saying that and giving your Pilates sessions, offering a weekly session to their staff, giving them postural awareness skills and improving their well-being, and also for you, you are gaining a possible new client for your future business. And the second thing is you're increasing your Pilates teaching hours. And this can be done with any business in your area. So the possibilities are endless. I hope you have enjoyed listening to those tips, and I hope that you found them useful. If you think that anybody else could find these tips useful, do share it with your friends, and don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified every time I upload a video online. Until my next video, goodbye.